Hey again everybody, here we are in the finals of our first EMA draft. Go ahead and take a look at what we've got. So, fortunately we're kind of seeing the perils of stretching our mana a little bit. We've got a double blue and a double white card, and only two plains. So I think we're going to go ahead and keep it. I think I'd rather play the Sprite. I think I was mispronouncing it. I don't know if I was saying Spirit Noble or what, but it's definitely a Sprite Noble. Would have rather have had the two blue, I think, since we could play Sprite into Phantom Monster. But as it is, turn 4, so we don't draw anything else, we'll have to play Calciderm or Phantom Monster. So hopefully we draw an island or a good 2, 3, or 4 drop. Carrion Feeder, not sure what that is. Could be an enabler for, I'm not even sure. Like a Blood Artist or something like that. So that's good news. We drew Honden. We got some late game action. We need to find an island or another 3-drop to play next turn. Although being on the play and our opponent not really having many creatures out, not under the most pressure. That's good news. Alright, that's a 3-drop. We can play. I think I'm just going to hide the swamp, I guess. It'd be kind of cool if we drew the Black Honden next turn. Knight's Reach, I think. Could play that and find another land, play Seeing Winds, and go off. But at least with Rift Watcher, we can stop this guy from hitting us. We can play Phantom Monster or Calciderm next turn. Calciderm's not the best when you can just chump block with something and then sacrifice it to the Carrion Feeder. It's not bad for us, but it could be better. So I'd like to find a way to deal with this thing permanently. Let it get big and kill all of his own creatures off and then duplicate it or something. Probably just going to play Phantom Monster next turn. Or Marshall. So he gets a 1/1 red creature. That's going to feed the Carrion Feeder most likely. Gaseous Form is a good way to shut it off though, so that's good. Alright, I think I'm just going to attack him and play Phantom Monster. Next turn, likely play the Honden. Just want to draw 2 cards a turn as soon as possible. Although hopefully this isn't a repeat of our last game where we went, I think, 10 or 11 turns without drawing a single land. Keeping a 4-lander. As we did this game. So hopefully we find a land. He's probably not going to pay Echo, just sack it to the Carrion Feeder. And then he can attack us if he plays another creature. Get threatened to... oh yeah, the thing dying. Didn't read that far. When it enters the battlefield or dies, he gets a goblin. So now he can attack with the Carrion Feeder, and I can't block, because he could just sack both the goblins to it. Gonna have to Gaseous Form that eventually. If he just swings with it alone, I'd be okay with that. Crack back for 5. Could also leave the Rift Watcher back to chump block it if need be. See what else he has. If he has like a Blood Artist, that could be a little dangerous. Knight's Whisper. He's going to draw 2, so he's probably looking for his 4th land. There's a chance he didn't find it. He kept 2 dual lands and a basic swamp or something. Looks like he's trying to find his 4th land there. He's got 7 spells in hand, quite possibly. Attacks with just Carrion Feeder, I will not block. As he'll just have a 4/4 then, and I'd rather have this Phantom Monster to pressure him with. Let's see, could play Calciderm. I wouldn't mind trading that with Carrion Feeder. If you can grow it to a 5/5 next turn. Yep. He's probably going to sack both. Oh, I was curious. I think he should have kept both goblins or none. But I guess we'll see what else he's got. Ooh, Tragic Slip. That's a good one. Alright. I think he should have sacked the goblin, but I guess he just wants multiple things to sack to it. Call the Skybreaker is not what we wanted to draw there, so it's really unfortunate that we can't seem to draw our 5th land in a reasonable amount of time. I think I just play Calciderm here though. Be able to block him. It's not the best since he can just like chump block with a goblin and then sack it. That eats away at our vanishing counters. Definitely want to play this Honden though. That's one plan, is to just have the Calciderm here to hold the fort long enough to find our 5th land, which should not take this long. If we can play Honden, draw 2 cards a turn, eventually we get up to 7 or more lands, we can start retracing this Call the Skybreaker. That will be quite nice. Opponent might be stuck on 3 lands, so I guess I can't complain since I have 33% more than he does already. Phyrexian Rager. Right, if he doesn't find a 4th land off that, then he'll have my respect. There he goes. How lucky. Deck's pretty interesting. He's got like a goblin expendable creature theme. I'd have to guess he has a blood artist in there somewhere. He just floods the board with goblins, plays a carrion feeder and a blood artist, and pops you multiple carrion feeders. It's a little concerning. I don't think I actually attack with the Calciderm here. I'm losing my Riftwatcher, unfortunately. The Calciderm gets smaller, and we still can't find our land. I can't actually play anything except for a gaseous form. So I think I just pass the turn and keep blocking him. I don't want to gaseous form this feeder, because then he just puts all the other counters onto this one. I'd rather wait for like one to get big and then form it. But yeah, once again, I think we've drawn like 5-6 cards and no 5th land. Impressive, really. Peregrine Drake is good though. If I can find any land, I can play him and then Honden. Find an island, I could also play Noble. Beetleback Chief, that's really bad for us. Alright. I think we're going to have to sideboard in that, not Pacifism, but the 2-drop that blocks the enchantment that makes it so you cannot use activated abilities. I think I'm going to go ahead and put Calciderm here, happily. And then gaseous form it. He's probably just going to wait it out. There's no reason for him to attack. He knows that my Calciderm's gone soon. 5th land? Nope. Another spell we can't cast. I guess I wait. This is unprecedented. Well, I can't really say that since last game it happened. So it has only a single game's precedent. Very unlucky, though. Between this game and the last, it'd be interesting to see if you put the games together, what our percentage of drawing a land was. Which ordinarily isn't a problem as long as you're at like 5 lands or more. I think we have drawn just about every single spell in our deck that we can't cast, except for like the 2nd Peregrine Drake and a duplicate. So literally any spell or land, except for a tapped land, would be a good draw here. As I think it's just the 6-drop we only have duplicate, and 7 we already have. There's one more Peregrine Drake, and I guess like Unexpectedly Absent. Even that we could cast for a couple though. Wouldn't be very good against our opponent, however. He's got a pretty good number of things that don't really care about being tucked under his deck. I do not feel very optimistic about this match here. Opponent's deck is quite good. Honden's going to start pressuring us as well. The red one. One more turn of our Calciderm sitting here doing nothing. I guess I Factor Fiction now because I just want to draw land. If that doesn't reveal lands, I don't know what will. Field of Souls would have been really nice to play this turn, as our Calciderm would spawn a flyer. But I'm just going to do anything I can do to get some islands here. If he just does 4 lands versus that, that would be not the worst, I suppose. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That'd be pretty bad. If he puts 4 lands in my hand, I get to play 1 of them and then discard 2 of them. Yeah, I'm actually absolutely going to take lands here. Might as well play the Tranquil Cove, go to discard. Could discard the Call to Skybreaker. I think I just discard a land here, possibly. Let's see, next turn we're going to have 6 lands, so I can play Peregrine Drake plus Noble plus Form. Or I could play Peregrine Drake, hold up Second Thoughts. I don't think it's going to be time to play the Honden anytime soon. I think I just discard a land. And maybe call the Skybreaker. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that, actually. Just want to hit my land drops, and an island is basically Call the Skybreaker with it in the graveyard like that. But might be several turns too late, unfortunately. Kind of just hope he attacks now and I can block a carrion feeder and then gaseous form it and second thoughts the other one. But we'll see. Ooh, Maze of Ith. That's going to complicate things. Still no attacks. Alright, so we lose our Calciderm. Draw land. Alright, so I'm definitely playing Peregrine Drake here. Just to play more bodies. Untap all of our land. So we do have to deal with that Honden eventually. Even assuming we deal with all of these creatures here at some point, he'll have Maze of Ith, which is going to make attacking him very complicated. I don't yet want to play the Noble and the Form. I might actually just play Honden. Next turn we can start call the Skybreakering. So maybe I do want to just play Noble and Gaseous Form, his bigger carrion feeder. I'm just going to sack it to the other one, but at least it shuts down one attacker somewhat. Not an ideal use of that spell, but we do what we have to do. Next turn we can bring back Call the Skybreaker repeatedly. For every land that we draw, we'll get a 5/5, and hopefully we can just overwhelm them with that. But we'll see. It's going to make it difficult to cast Second Thoughts as well, though. But at least we'll only have like one gigantic carrion feeder, hopefully. We can deal with it easily enough. All these goblins are going to be sacrificed before long. He's drawing a lot of land too. Yeah, if we had just like altered our decks slightly to draw all these lands before our 5s and 7 drops, then things might be a bit better than they are now. If he has more Tragic Slips, or maybe like a Wake Dancer, he's probably going to have a bunch of those. Ooh, Necrotal. Kill my Sprite. I think it would have been better to kill the Drake, actually. Either way, we're in a bit of trouble, though. I guess anything I block, he just sacks it to the carrion feeder. That's not too bad. I think I blocked Beetleback Chief more. He might have Goblin synergies, if that exists. Just block that. He sacks it, hits me for like 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'll be at 10 after this Honden hits me. But every land I draw gives me a 5/5 flyer. So maybe that'll be enough. If I find like a War Priest of Thune, I can play that. And also kill the Honden and hold up Second Thoughts. So here, I think I just play Call the Skybreaker. Retrace that. And we're in for the long haul, just kind of hanging back here. Gotta hope for the best. Wouldn't mind drawing a 2-drop here. I'm gonna have to use Second Thoughts on the carrion feeder in a moment. So War Priest of Thune would be absolutely perfect. And then after that point, I just find lands and discard them to get more squiddly looking things here. Not sure how that's an elemental, but I guess it works. So every land we draw is now a 5/5 flyer, potentially. Unless we desperately need to cast 8 mana worth of spells in one turn. So let's see what we draw, what else he has. Another Beetleback Chief. Fantastic. Oh, Torrent of Souls. So return Beetleback. Creatures get +2/+0 and haste. Wow, that's quite a combo. Pretty sure we are dead then. Let's see, we're taking 4, 8, and a million more. Yeah. Wow, that's cool. A very impressive sequence of spells there. So what do we do against that? Stupefying Touch kind of takes down one of those carrion feeders or whatever. Seal of Cleansing for his Hondens, but I don't know if it's necessary. Ticking Gnomes could be good. I guess I bring in Karakas. No reason not to. It only works on creatures. Yes. I don't think Hondens qualify as legendary. They do. They are legendary. Interesting. But unfortunately, Karakas cannot return them. That would be interesting if it did. Definitely not bringing in innocent blood or anything like that. Yeah, not really sure if we really want to change much here. I think everything will play its part. Maybe you could take out Honden. He empties his hand quite quickly. And Calciderm is pretty bad when he has a million 1/1s that can just jump block it all day. I just need to draw like Prodigal Sorcerer to keep all those tokens under control. I think that'll work. Take out a Calciderm for the Ticking Gnomes and hope for the best. So see if we can draw a bit better than that. Stay tuned for game 2.